Well, at this time, I'd like to ask, if I may, Mr. Reza Ganjavi to come forward. He's a friend and, of course, a former student of Jim Christian's, and he has come to us today all the way from Switzerland, halfway around the world. Reza, please come forward, sir, and thank you so much for your presence today. Thank you very much for that great.
I wrote my speech on the way here.
Sure.
Thank you to Lori for all her love and caring for our dear Jim. For years I called him Dr. Christian, but recently I've been calling him Jim. He doesn't know. He's a humble man. In the words of educational philosopher Jiddu Krishnamurti, right education brings about a new human being who brings about a new world. He said, our education from childhood is built around this idea of becoming somebody, achieving success. And very few of us has ever learned to love what we are doing. I was a teenager when I joined Santa Ana College, and I took the Philosophy 101 class. And the first day of class, Jim came to in front of the class and said, don't worry about the grade. Just enjoy it. Enjoy the class. This was an out of this world idea to me. I mean, I was in the competitive educational system, and grade is very important. This man is saying, don't worry about it, enjoy it. He's teaching something very great to you. He dedicated his life to education, which is the most important and holiest of all occupations. His book, as the gentleman mentioned, was a bestseller and was taught in over 300 colleges and universities in the US. He's touched thousands of people's lives. I was one of them. He always emphasized doing what you love, and imagine what an important message that is for a teenager starting college. People who touch you deeply are part of you. He's one of the few people to whom I'm very indebted because of all that they've taught me, not just by words, but by their being. My father was one of them. He passed away a couple of years ago. We loved each other very deeply. And that love survives. Love is not like the body, it just dies. It's a completely different dimension, and it goes on. Jim is also part of me. I see him in my daily life, all that he's taught me in the art of wondering and the art of being a sensitive human being. His best-selling philosophy textbook was mentioned in the earlier speech, An Intro to the Art of Wondering. Philosophy is the love of wisdom. Jim loved wisdom, and what it was its embodiment. He loved truth. In a world which is so full of superficiality, dogma, fanaticism, so-called conservatism, which is utterly reckless, he was educating people to search for truth, to wonder, to inquire, to ask questions, and not settle for anything but truth. This is a very special quality, because in this day and age, we settle for non-truth. People settle for all the time. But the role of the philosopher is to dig in, not settle for anything less. We spoke from time to time over the years. Every year we spoke, sometimes a few times, sometimes once or twice. He called me the best and brightest of all the students he's ever had in the last 47 years. Sorry, I put that in quotes, I was going to say it. Just read through it. But I like his words, the way he said it. For example, I'm not bragging, but he said, you're a philosopher at heart. You always have been, you always will be. But you're a beautiful combination of the practical and the philosophical, which I admire very much. I interviewed him a couple of years ago on a series of videos. Those days was a 10-minute maximum on YouTube, so it's like 5 sessions. You can find those on YouTube if you search for James Christian Philosophy or James Christian Reza. Or you can go to my website, which is Reza Music, or to the video site, which is rezatv.com. He loved music and repeatedly complimented my CDs. In that soft-spoken voice, he would always say, Reza, I'm worried about you. Because I travel internationally a lot. And he was worried about the state of the world and the fanatics and all the horrible things that are going on. Love doesn't die. If you love Jim and he loved you, he's there, right in your heart. We were blessed by his presence. Let's cherish his message. Thank you.
Excellent, Reza. Thank you so much for those very, very thoughtful words. It's so much appreciated, I know, by everyone here today.